The purpose of this presentation is to determine how BYOD enables new pedagogies. Once upon a time, there was a boy named Kieran. He was in grade 7, and it was his first year in secondary school. He went to an amazing school that had lots of fantastic facilities. Since Kieran was a creative and curious boy, this all suited him rather well. This year, Kieran's school decided to introduce a blended learning environment for the grade 7s. Students were encouraged to BYOD. Kieran was really excited at the prospect of a learning environment that went beyond the textbooks that did nothing to engage him. He imagined his classroom would look like this one.
For teachers who venture into the world of modern technology, tablets, smartphones, and e-readers are taking class lessons in new directions, engaging students and focusing them on their assignments.
The project we're working on right now, they have been writing group skits to showcase conflict, and bringing in their own computers and bringing in other devices that they can pull the script up on at the same time allows them all to be working together.
One day we were doing vocabulary, and a student asked, can I use my smartphone to make flashcards? Because there's an app for that. And I said, oh, okay, that sounds interesting. And I let him do it, and now it's started to pick up throughout the room.
Students are also using their personal devices to complete homework assignments posted on the FCPS 24/7 Blackboard site.
Technology is such a part of this generation that it's kind of breaking down the barriers from what school is versus what home is. So they're able to now use it at home and in the classroom the same way. So they're not having to learn two ways of learning. So they're able to translate that and be more engaged with it because it's more their speed, it's more their language.
Unfortunately for Kieran, his school wasn't there quite yet. They were lacking the infrastructure required, and the teacher training as well. So, instead of a dynamic classroom where the spirit of cooperation reigned, Kieran found himself working in a Web 1.0 environment that looked a lot like this. And this. And even back to this. Kieran wondered why his new environment wasn't all it had promised to be. What was his school missing? Actually, Kieran's school was missing many things. Let's begin with a framework for creative pedagogies. The use of BYOD devices have become increasingly popular as mobile devices afford ubiquitous ownership and connectivity, coupled with the collaborative affordances through social media. These augmented reality learning experiences inspire creativity, self-directed learning, and collaboration. The question that will be looked at is how can BYOD be used as a catalyst to introduce new pedagogies and assessment strategies in lower secondary education? A learner-generated context moves pedagogy from the digitally myopic Web 1.0 approach of content delivery to a student-centered pedagogical approach. Thus, learner-generated contexts are becoming a useful framework for measuring this movement in education. BYOD refines the role of the learner and teacher as it enables new pedagogies. The unique affordances of such things as video editing software, production, and sharing on social media allows for collaborative potential. Mobile augmented reality can range from cameras to interactive 3D models, to scannable multimedia, and even geolocation. Let's take a moment to return to the framework for creative pedagogies. A creative framework would touch upon a constructivist environment where students construct their own meaning, a constructionist environment where students create and generate their own media content, and a participatory environment where collaborative work and group participation leads to a greater understanding and ownership of information acquisition. Additionally, there are two other models of learning that can be used in introducing new pedagogies and assessment strategies. The PAH model focuses on pedagogy, which is the art and science of teaching children, andragogy, which is the art and science of teaching adults, and heutagogy. Heutagogy is a fairly new term whose roots are embedded in social constructivist theory and Vygotskian theory. It centers on three characteristics. The first is a learner-centered environment. The second is reflective practice. And thirdly is collaborative learning. Some of the focal points that emerge from heutagogy are mobility, collaboration, connectivity, and student-generated content. It is also contextual, mobile social media related, creative, and involves active participation. As you can see, heutagogy encompasses all the aspects of the framework for creative pedagogies as discussed previously. The second model of learning that can be used in introducing new pedagogies and assessment strategies is the SAMR model. The SAMR goes beyond substituting existing educational assessment and teaching practice and creates new experience that is made possible with the existence of new media and technology affordances. The framework represents a continuum of pedagogical approaches that can be scaffolded over time, while building upon previous experience and moving the students towards heutagogy in a student-driven, constructivist learning environment. In using the SAMR model, educators can bring about a change in cognition and an ontological shift. It conceptualizes the role of technology in learning and moves it from a tool of delivery of information to a transformative tool that enables collaboration between students and students, students and educators, as well as bringing about collaboration between educators themselves. Returning to our subject, Kieran, we learned that although Kieran is not being exposed to frameworks for creative pedagogies at school, he is pursuing his own education at home. His creative and inventive nature has led him into the world of DIY projects, one of which has led him to start making and selling his own jewelry. He even started his own business and has been selling his jewelry at craft fairs, taking orders from customers, and has just landed his first mass order of 70 pieces. His mobile classroom ranges from his toolbox to his workbench to the online community of learners he belongs to. He watches, learns, asks questions, and solves his problems with the assistance of people from around the globe. So how can Kieran's school implement a framework for creative pedagogies that will engage students inside the classroom? Implementing the framework. In order to redefine pedagogy to reflect the PAH and SAMR framework, educators must provide appropriate technology support and infrastructure by leveraging the ubiquitous nature of mobile devices. One of the things missing in Kieran's school is an appropriate technology infrastructure. Implementing the framework naturally requires a robust structure to be in place. Institutional Wi-Fi networks should have bandwidth to handle the traffic. Classrooms need to be equipped with presentation systems that can enable wireless access from lecturer to student devices. The foundation of Willard's pyramid hinges upon the crucial element reflected at the base of the pyramid. As the pyramid narrows, other factors such as technology planning, support, infrastructure, software, and hardware all need to be firmly entrenched in the school before the final stage of actualization.
I decided to transform our library into a Learning Commons. First of all, I wanted to create an environment where students wanted to come to the library and enjoy the resources, the books, the technology, and I wanted to switch the library from a place where you just check out books to a place of learning. As we transition into Common Core, it's going to be important for students to be able to do research, to work on projects, to develop oral and communication skills. So I feel that working here in the library and working on developing the Learning Commons will provide an opportunity for our students to transition and be able to be critical thinkers, be able to research, and take ownership of their work.
Another consideration when introducing BYOD environments is the issue of media theory. In order for students to be creative and technologically savvy, they also need to be socially savvy. Media theory encourages students to analyze what they consume, share, and produce. Media studies teach ethical considerations and technical skills side by side. While capturing expression, students learn to intellectually engage with the content, which they repurpose, remix, and represent, reflectively and critically. Part of Convergence culture is to be able to merge and overlap various forms to enable new functions through transmedia navigation.
Squirrel plays piano, falcon swimming with giraffe, vlogger's opinion on issues, Frank kills idiot, Snapchat shows wiener to OkCupid, and kittens play cutely.
Thank you, you two. What a random series of compelling images. Okay, can anyone think of a way to relate that to today's lesson, finding loopholes in privacy and monopoly law? Or maybe a comment about how lucky YouTube is to be related to me?
Yo, what did you say about Snapchat's dick?
Hey! Limit those characters, Twitter. Go ahead, YouTube.
Snapchat shows wiener to video removed by user.
All right, that's it for today. But mind your terms and conditions, everyone. And there will be a quiz tomorrow. So I hope you're feeling lucky.
Didn't you hear? Snapchat showed OkCupid his wing wang and YouTube saw the whole thing.
I knew it!
Snapchat dick pic rumor confirmed. # citizen journalism. Wow!
Hey, give me $5 and tell me what they said.
Namibia, midnight. Dick pics volley across the scarred horizon.
Actually, many have said that it was a video, not a pic, and that there were 3 of them. No, 2. No, 4. Yeah, many have said there was 4 videos.
Who?
I'm still seeking citations.
He was all ooh, 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 and then his phone went like internet. Did you see it? He was all ooh, 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 and his phone went.
Oh, you are so ADHD. A good story should be 10, 15 seconds.
I'm not gonna believe it just because you say.
Suit yourself, but Anonymous says the CIA and/or racist cops were involved. Though I'm like 300% sure that it's fake anyway. You can tell by the pixels on the tip.
Wow. Dick Pixelgate. I'm gonna go talk to Twitter and see if he's learned anything new in the last 30 seconds.
It's OkCupid's fault for looking at his crotchal area in the first place. Snapchat is a job creator.
Right. Blame the woman! This is just another example of the 1%ers inflicting their dicks upon the 99.
Yo, listen up! Here's the status. According to my bae, the CIA dicks are all totally anonymous. Anyone's dick could be a racist cop and you would have no idea. They got microchips in the condoms, everyone. Don't use them.
Yeah, much of that is false.
All right, everyone unfriend Snopes for disagreeing with us and join the group that I just started. Dickluminati Watchdogs. Oh, at 3 o'clock behind the gym, watch Huffo and Drudge fight it out.
Yay, hooray! I'm secretly smart, but I pretend not to be, just to be popular. Go Internet! Go Internet!
Yeah, go Internet.
The satire! The satire!
Level design is crap.
Slut.
Rude.
Oh, will you go to prom with me? Bitch, I know where your locker is. I'll show everyone.
These kids, dick pixels, Twitterists, what's a Kotaku? That's what I want to know. The world don't make no sense no more. Anyone streaming in there?
Come on, show me the dick pic. Everyone says you have it.
You
said you had a doc on dick pics.
No, I said I had a doc on the CIA who are dicks. But I can't find it now. I swear it was here last week. I'll find it.
And bingo! Looks like you're in some deep web. You done goofed, buddy boy.
All right, everyone, that's the bell. Find your seats. Now, before we get started, I've been hearing a lot of wild rumors out there, and I want to put them to rest. AP, you came in late. What's actually going on?
Something about wieners?
Well, that's hardly news. Okay, now that that's settled, I'm going to teach you all something pretty interesting by drawing my name in a funny way.
Thank you so much for watching Internet Party 4. We had such a great time doing it. Make sure you tell us in the comments what websites you'd like to see in the next Internet Party. Subscribe to Crack's channel, 5 Second Films, Amy Akuta, The Guild, Courtney Peruzzo, everyone else. There's 33 people who are in this and 18 crew. Subscribe to all of them. Thank you so much, everybody. We did it!
BYOD environments should be flexible, learner-centered, a place where situational learning takes on a new context, and participatory. They should also be collaborative, interactive, learner autonomous, and a place where authentic learning takes place. Participatory competencies in a BYOD environment should include sharing, learning, and producing their own media, a growing DIY movement based on learner autonomy, more robust education, DIY projects that integrate and converge different forms of media, participatory group work in DIY projects, problem solving, active participation in order to break down barriers between learner and teacher. There are, however, a few problems with BYOD that educators should be aware of. One of the biggest and most obvious problems with BYOD is that educators are not properly trained in best practice. Many educators implement a Web 1.0 approach where the use of BYOD is content-driven. There is a temptation for educators to create a surface learning environment with very little in-depth analysis. Copyright infringement is another factor that needs to be addressed for both students and educators. Media studies needs to be taught alongside the introduction of BYOD in any program, so ethical considerations are taken into account. Students can also get distracted with other social media platforms during the course of the class, as well as the obvious economic divide that inhibits some students from participation. Ubiquitous education can sometimes punish lurking or silent behavior, forcing students to participate. It can also isolate learners through loss of discursive social engagement in learning and leave them at security risk. Of course, the pros of using BYOD are many, some of which include classroom response systems, which allow educators to get and give immediate feedback, and students to actively participate. BYOD can be used across multiple platforms and in a variety of situations. It's cost-saving, as it allows students to use devices that they already own, rather than purchasing expensive standalone devices that are only equipped to be used with the attached hardware in the classroom. BYOD allows for open-ended responses, for students to work at their own pace, to work ubiquitously and asynchronously, and educators to refer to what happens both in and out of the classroom by back-channeling. In research conducted in a first-year university class, responses indicated that 92% of students said they were more likely to attend classes that have BYOD. 87% said anywhere usage allowed them to feel more involved in class. While 85% said everywhere usage made them more likely to respond to answers in class, and 90% said everywhere usage made learning more relevant and engaging. If used properly, BYOD can be used as a catalyst to introduce new creative pedagogies and assessment strategies while employing a hudological framework in order to bring about a shift in our understanding of education and all its affordances in the 21st century.